Hey everyone, we are back with new topic on React. We will be learning how do we handle events in React. React lets you add event handlers to your JSX element. Let's see this with a diagram. We just read that React is the one that lets you add event handlers to your JSX element. Right. Let me draw a proper diagram to explain you about it properly. Now you can see we have our event handler diagram complete. You can clearly see React allows us to add an event handler to our own JSX element. Let's see what our event handler. Event handler are our functions that we can write to handle any sort of events going in our program. And this type of functions are only triggered for the following things shown on your screen. Let me tell you what are those. These events are triggered in response to clicking, hovering over or focusing on form input events. Button is clicked, or we hover over something on screen, or we are focusing on form input events. These all factors could lead to trigger our event handler. Clicking, hovering or focusing on form input events will trigger the event handler. We just learned how to respond to any event occurring, that is by creating an event handler for that triggered event. Now let's learn how to add that very own created event handler to our JSX element. So in order to create any event handler, we need to first define it. Let's see how can we do it. And then assign this event handler as a prop to your JSX element. The event handler is normal function that has the logic to handle events inside of it. We are naming this function as handleClick. You can name it anything, but this practice of naming is best followed in React. When the button that will be clicked will in return call this function, and this function has the logic to be implemented. In this video, I have just used a simple alert statement to show how does event trigger and handling works. Let's see how we can pass the event handler to our JSX element. As you can see in our button component, we have something named onClick. This is how we can pass the click event to any JSX element. Remember, is will be used only to handle click. For hover we have different event handler. Now when we call the onClick handler and pass in the handleClick function, this will in turn call the function that has an alert statement inside of it. Now let's see what are the steps of creating this type of event handler in React. First we need to create a function named handleClick. You can name it anything of your choice. Next we need to implement the logic inside of this function. Here we have used a simple statement, that is an alert statement. Now you can pass the function handleClick as prop to our onClick event handler in the JSX element created above. This is the demo of how to implement the things that we just learned. First create the app and inside of logic, and rest of the things are shown our screen. Look carefully. As you can see we have our handleClick function ready. Now you can see inside of button component, we have passed that function using onClick event handler. See the output, it works fine.